two types of contribution. One, if you have any questions to the speakers, please do. If not, some of you might want to just contribute, so give us some insights. Kindly, please do. So I know there's our Queen Julliet Makhapila is here, and she told me she wanted to do some. And I could see also our great brother Kidane Alamayo from the United States. So maybe I start with you. Gasha Kidane, please, you say something. You ask,
yes.
Maybe we should ask with questions and then see how it goes. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. I will be as brief as possible. First, I want to wish you a happy Ethiopian New Year, 2016. And I would like also to mention that Ethiopia had contributed to the source of this Zoom meeting, South Africa, its independence. As you know, Nelson Mandela was trained in Ethiopia and he was given an Ethiopian passport. And therefore, I thought that there would be a mutual, very good collaboration between Ethiopia and South Africa. The other country, Lesotho, is another country in Southern Africa, within independent, but a country within the borders of South Africa, where I served during 1970 to 78 at the request of Lesotho and the collaboration of the United Nations. I'm mentioning these two countries because they are exemplary in one respect for Ethiopia. That is that they share water, but South Africa is paying, I think, is around over $40 million annually to Lesotho. Whereas Ethiopia, which provides 86% of the water that cascades to Egypt, is not getting anything. Although some years back, historically, it used to get 50,000 gold coins from the Ottoman Empire when it was colonizing Egypt. Now, the Egyptian government sometimes behaves as if it is the owner of the Nile River and even threatens Ethiopia, which is the source of the Nile. So I'm just wondering whether South Africa and Lesotho should express their exemplary collaboration to internationally, so that Egypt will follow the example. The other point I have is that Ethiopia contributed a lot to Africa's independence, but although the name African Union is mentioned, but it's really not united. So just wondering whether we should contribute something effective to bring real unity to Africa. The third point I have is that as far as Ethiopia is concerned, there are two fundamental constraints. One is that the current system is virtually an apartheid system, which divides the country along ethnic lines, which is really the source of the conflict and all the disaster that the country is facing. And the final point is that although Ethiopia is naturally a very rich country, blessed country, but is suffering from a lot of poverty. According to the UNDP Human Development Index, Ethiopia is 175th out of 191 countries. It's just merely because of leadership problems and the fact that it does not have a comprehensive and a strategic development plan. It's time that we face such truths and facts, and as was mentioned earlier, one by one of the presenters, that we have to take pragmatic action. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your very good contribution and very relevant ones. And we need to also discuss how to make sure that on the Grand Renaissance Dam, that justice is done. Like South Africa has justice for Lesotho, but we don't have that in Ethiopia. So Thank you very much. Let me go to the next one. Our sister Julliet Makhapila, can you say a few words? And there was also a Reverend, but is he there? If they have, you can make some comments. That'll be nice. And if there are others who would like to comment names, please let me know, and then I will give you the chance. And if you have any questions also to ask, please do. All right? Please ask the questions too. Thank you very much to the speakers, our great speakers. Thank you.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning from whichever part of the world that you're joining us from. And thank you so much, Professor Mamo, and to all the key speakers. I'm always delighted to be here. Happy Ethiopian New Year 2016. I'm just so excited. I'm joining you from London, so with the warmth of London, can I send people of Ethiopia a very happy New Year, first of all? Thank you so much. So just bringing the warmth of the people of United Kingdom. So I celebrate you all because that's where I am right now. But I'm also from Kenya. So from the people of Kenya, it's a very happy Ethiopian Happy New Year. So from the people of Ethiopia, from the people of Kenya to Ethiopia, a very wonderful evening. And of course, I know it's on the 12th, but we're bringing it. We started the celebration. So I send you the warmth. And then I've also been named Queen Nigist. So I'm proud to call myself Queen Nigist because that name was given to me by Professor Mamo and explained to me by Gabriel. So I'm always excited. And then I'm also royal, so I want to give you my warmth as African Wonder Woman. So I want to send all the celebration, the beauty, the abundance, the warmth of the people of the humanity. And I want to send the love across the whole world. But I want to take this opportunity to, first of all, allow us to think about what is being said here tonight, the issues of peace. And that is something that we're hearing time and time again. You know, I want to take this opportunity to renew the energy of peace. And we have seen what is happening in Ethiopia recently. The issues of hostility amongst tribal issues, political instability. I want to renew the energy using this platform to ask the people of Ethiopia to love one another. It is so sad when we see people just dying because of political leadership. It is so sad to see when we look and we see people fighting because of bound borders. It is very sad when we see that loss of life is happening and youth, women, children, insecurity, and all kind of mannerism. I want to renew this energy here today. I thank you because we're change makers, and I love what one of the speakers was speaking about. Deputy spoke about the spirit of Ubuntu. I renew that energy and the love of Ubuntu spirit. I am because we are. And I want to celebrate every single one of you with warmth. At the bottom of my heart, I know we can do it. At the bottom of my heart, the people of Ethiopia are, they take great pride in saying we are the cradle of mankind. And I know we can debate that because Kenya as well takes pride in saying we came from Turkana. No war is needed. No war should be destroying livelihood. I want to renew this energy because I know the people speaking here right now are people of great knowledge, great people of great warmth, great people of abundance and gratitude that is needed around the world. Thank you to Professor Steve Little, who also explained the issues of colonization and how that impacts the whole world. Thank you so much because Ethiopia was not colonized. But beyond that, we see the changing patterns around the world. the globalization issues that are happening within the whole world. We need to be a people that unite. We need Ethiopia to understand that you are the same people, a people that has helped the world to see the difference, a people who've got the Ethiopian calendar. We thank you. We're 7 years younger, and I feel young already. I thank you. Happy 2016. And I'll finish by blowing this to you all. You can make a difference. I love you all. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you very much. Thank you very much for the contribution. Are there other speakers? Professor Ashak Malik also spoke about his vision is also on Ubuntu. They also have in India what's called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is all humanity is one family. Don't call some strangers some relatives. So we have that. But I just wanted to know if there are, we have also Professor Fitha. I think he was the one that actually very strongly suggested that we should have this meeting and we should make all brothers, not fighters. So if he's there, he can make comments. And I also see Fisahag, another brother, Fisahag Gizao Kompli. And all of you, if you want to say something, please do. And if Brooke wants to say something, please do. Otherwise, I mean, just ask questions also for the audience. So let me see. I don't see any. Oh, there's one of them, Kasa. You want to ask a question, please? I see your hand.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Professor Mammo. So this is with great pleasure. I just listening to this well articulated deliberation across a number of important issues. It's really it's kind of heart touching because I'm from Ethiopia and at the moment I live in London and UK. So I have been in touch in Ethiopia because I'm doing some research. Recently, I did ongoing research in terms of displaced women because of conflict and crisis everywhere. And it's a lot of traumatic condition where you can't hear there. So, and sometimes you start asking questions, why this is happening? Why this is happening in Ethiopia? Because we say that Ethiopia is cradle of human being. Ethiopia has a very rich history. Ethiopia is the one actually adopted Christianity in 4th century. We have the story about Lalibela, Aksumite, and also Gondar and everything, and the rich history. And we also contributed to United Nations in terms of establishment, also African Union, also liberation of South Africa, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and also other countries. And why is this happening in Ethiopia? So that's actually the mind-blowing question. It might be $1 million question, but we know what are the causes. So I think some of the issues which you raised is like Ubuntu, because of you. We also have the same kind of urge in Ethiopia. So almost whatever from my experience in terms of engagement, living with a different kind of society, because I travel to some extent extensively from south to the north, to the east, to the west. And I know Ethiopian community, Ethiopian population is just, kind of hugging people, just, kind of hospitality is already there. So even one of the findings, which is not really a new one, which I found because I was talking about why this displacement is happening, what is the cause. And I was engaging some stakeholders like Minister of Peace and others. And some of the answers coming is really shocking. So that's why I raised in the chat that Ethiopia actually needs transformational leadership, authentic leadership, where everyone to be considered as equal. Why we are creating bloodline as a kind of, creating an identity. So identity shouldn't be a problem. In the UK, I can see a very diverse globally immigrant living and thriving. Why on earth in Ethiopia are fighting brothers and sisters fighting each other? Why shedding blood? Why is this happening? So this is really kind of questions which I would like answered. So for me, some of the ideas emerged from this discussion on New Ethiopian year is really promising. So the question is how you can take these issues forward. For me, one of is really we need to build. I think some of the issues which raised by Professor Ashak is really an important one. Maybe Professor Tolosa has written a book and everything, and he's authoritative in terms of how Ethiopia actually is creating the bill. And he could have also shed us more light on that one. That's what I'm thinking. So I think the problem is everything is known. We know the problem, we know the causes. It's really how we are going to address in a manner where we can have a consensus, understanding, love, humanity. We are one community, something. So that is which is lacking. So now the issue is how we can now build that kind of mindset within Ethiopian generation. As Professor Losa already said, yeah, peace is the important thing. So without peace, we can't do anything. Because now if you go to Ethiopia, even traveling from Addis Ababa to Bahadar or DC or another place becomes problematic. You can't walk. Why is this happening? Why we are creating this? It's you, it's me. So this and you kind of identity kind of thing is really doesn't make sense. And it happened from 1960s onward in Ethiopia. So really that's where how we would be able to change the mindset of the current leadership, the current people, I don't know, the authority, and also how we can change the mindset of a new generation, youngsters. So some of the issues raised and some of the deliberation from invited guests is really, it should be taken into consideration. So what I would like is we need to build consensus in what we are going to do. We are human beings. We might live only maybe 40, 50, 70 years and then everybody goes. So there's generation and the society will continue. So we need to think about our society because the more Ethiopia have as exemplar from historically, so it also has a history in terms of bringing other African countries because Ethiopia is a symbol of independence, symbol of freedom for Africa. Many Africans cherish Ethiopia than ourselves. So we need to consider that how other Africans are actually looking as example Ethiopia and what's happening in Ethiopia is very disastrous. So my point is, let us take on some of the issues which already raised and how we can also translate. And the further point which I would like to make is I'm very fond of Africa and China relationship. Even if, why? Because if you go back to Ethiopia for a number of years, I trained, I did my first degree in Addis Ababa University in economics. And what I see is, I think what the legacy of USDA aid to Ethiopia, yeah, people can debate it's a lot because relief as it stands for whatever, drought. And what I see is only one symbol. There is a Calgary Library at Addis Ababa University. That is a flagship which we go from USA. We have nearly a century kind of relation with the UK. So I think the European Union is building more infrastructure, more facilities than individually bilateral relationship in Ethiopia. So given that one, and when I see what is happening because the relationship between China and Ethiopia, we are looking actually a very significant development in terms of infrastructure. Infrastructure is a key. That is the basis for any development. It has a spillover effect.
Okay.
So that's why I think the relationship with Ethiopia and also maybe Africa and China should be strengthened. And on this note, I would like to say happy Ethiopian 2016.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your contribution. There is a Reverend George. Is it possible you want to say a few words? Hello? Are you there? And Professor Adarajo is there. And I see a few of you. All of you need to make comments. And if you have questions also for the audience, please do that. And then we need to. Yes, thank you very much. Oh, boss has raised the question. Okay, I have one. Please, boss, can you please speak?
Good evening, everyone, and
Yes, thank
happy New Year to all Ethiopians. Now I'm very, very young. I thought I was young, but now I'm really, really young. Sorry, I got a little bit in the meeting, but I really appreciated what has been said so far. Mostly the Chinese and the African relationship. I feel it's about time that now Africans are really considered as major key players in this connected world that we have now. So I feel if we can have more and more of that, not only from the China side, but just globally, maybe we can build a better future for everyone. Because not only Africa has the resources, but it also has a culture, a way of doing things that I believe can benefit to the Europeans, the Asians, and the rest of them. What I really am interested in is the question of division. It's very unfortunate that I'm seeing what's happening in Ethiopia these days. But to be honest, what's happening there in Ethiopia has been happening in my country. I'm from DRC, Congo, and we had the honor of inviting Prof. Mamo last time in our Gatumba commemoration. I'm not sure if he still remembers, but we are dealing with almost the same type of problems. So this issue of division is really a serious issue in Africa. I'm not quite sure where it comes from, whether colonization has played a big role in it, but the more you look at other civilizations, you feel like division has always been an issue from the dawn of time. On a personal level, I've tried to inquire into this whole history of division, and it seems like this identification problem is really an issue because, you see, as much as I love being Congolese, it's also creating another sort of problem because now I identify as a Congolese, which means I put a barrier between me and the Chinese or the Ethiopian. So it's all good to say we have an Ubuntu spirit, let's welcome everyone. But as long as I'm attached to my identity, at some point we're going to have a clash. So we have to find some sort of middle ground to say, okay, look, there's beauty in diversity. There's beauty in us being superficially separated. But at the end of the day, this attachment is what's causing all this trouble. So hopefully you guys probably have much more experience than I do. But it's your responsibility to leave some sort of understanding to us, the youth, and maybe we can take it a step further and stop all this conflict that's been spilling blood from I don't know how many years. But anyway, thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for the invitation. And Happy New Year to all of us. We are way, way younger than we thought.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you for attending also. Thank you very much. And as you know, what happened was, the Tutsis, the Pulangs, all this Eastern Congo war, that, they link it to Ethiopia. They say they go back to Ethiopia and things like that. So when you asked me to give the keynote on the commemoration, I was very touched, deeply touched, hearing when you show the pictures of how people were killed. It's brutal. I mean, I don't understand why people do that. And I was in tears, actually, to be honest with you. It was scary what I saw. And I could see that most of you look Ethiopian also, and they told you must go back to Ethiopia when they were killing. I don't know why they did that. That's what they did. But I'm glad you came, and I really appreciate you. And you are